Hello, Mishpacha, it's Courtney, America's Jewish mother, and I'm here with a Friday Reads video. Now, in the interest of full transparency here, I'm actually pre-filming this on Thursday because by the time you're watching this on Friday, I will be on my way back to Alabama for my second COVID shot, and on the way back, I'm going to stop off in Auburn and visit some friends who are fully vaccinated, which I'm so excited about. So this is basically going to be an all-day affair, which is why I'm pre-filming this. So anyway, in the span of the past week, I did finish 4 books, and I am currently reading 4 books. So let's go. So the first book I finished was Moby-Dick by Herman Melville. I've already posted a glowing, very enthusiastic standalone review of this novel that's also spoiler-free, which I ended up giving 5 stars. I loved it. It was amazing. I definitely want to return to it in the future. So I will link that down below if you have not seen that yet. And this was a buddy read with Melissa, fully booked, and I was really glad to do this book as a buddy read with her. Here's to more buddy reads in the future. So I finished that. I also finished the last of my 6 books for the Booktube Prize. Yay! So I finished Amy Stanley's Stranger in the Shogun City. So I can't talk about this yet, but I have already recorded my thoughts about it elsewhere. I've already put together the full vlog. It's saved in a draft in YouTube Studio. I'm just waiting for Robert to announce the the books in advance to the quarterfinals round, and then boom, I'm gonna publish it. So yeah, my thoughts about that will be forthcoming pretty soon. Then I finished Agatha Christie's The Tuesday Club Murders. I had this as a book out from the library, but I've already had to take it back. This was a collection of short stories featuring Miss Marple. I liked this overall, and the stories were enjoyable, but I think, as I said before, I just don't really like mysteries in a short story format as much as I like them in a full-length novel format, because you don't really get to know the characters and their motivations, and so there's not really a lot of guessing that you as the reader get to do before the who did what is actually revealed. But I do enjoy Miss Marple, and they were fine. I didn't love them, but I do want to still read more Miss Marple books, hopefully full-length novels in the future. So I ended up giving this collection 3.25 stars. And then the last book I finished this week, I actually just finished today, which is What Were We Thinking? A Brief Intellectual History of the Trump Era. Yeah, just want to make sure I got that title right. By Carlos Lozada. I did this as a buddy read with Jenny of What's Bookin'. And I really like this overall. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. Basically, Lozada's central premise here is that, there have been a ton of books written about Trump and the Trump presidency thus far, and there will continue to be books written about it in the future, but his sort of central premise here is that individually, a lot of these books try to show a path or a way forward, but collectively they reveal how we are stuck. And so Lozada breaks down these books into different genres. So he has a Heartlandia chapter that tries to explain the rural white Trump voter. He has a chapter on conservative takes on Trump. He has a chapter on resistance literature. He has a chapter on Russian interference in the 2016 election and charges of collusion. He has one on where is the future of democracy headed, and there are some other ones too. But so he breaks it down by genres and gives you an overview of selected titles in that genre. And he's really amusing throughout this book for the most part. He has a lot of snarky commentary that he includes, which I personally really enjoyed. And yeah, I thought it was a well-organized book overall. I think he maybe doesn't completely deliver on his central claim that collectively these books reveal how we're still stuck. I think he does show that within individual chapters, although not all of them. But I would have liked to have seen a chapter at the end that kind of gave an overview of everything that had come before. And so I felt like doesn't quite deliver on his central argument, But again, still a really good overview and an entertaining and engaging overview of all of these books, especially if you, like me, are kind of perversely interested in reading about this stuff, but you don't know where to start or don't want to actually have to, you know, get a hold of all of these books and read them. This gives you a good overview so you can kind of pick and choose, because Lozada himself read over 150 titles. So you can kind of pick and choose from the list that Lozada gives to you. So yeah, really good, 4 stars. Would definitely recommend if you are interested in an overview of these kinds of books. So that is everything that I finished this week. So on to currently reading. So I am still making progress on the Count of Monte Cristo. As I'm filming this, I'm on page 786. So I've crossed the halfway point of this book. Now, I'd be a lot happier if this book was only like, 1,000 pages long instead of 1,400, because, when you don't cross the halfway point until past page 700, oh my gosh, it just feels like I'm never going to finish this. But progress is being made. And right now, I just read a chapter where Dante's has basically written letters to 2 different people and is asking them to pretend like they're long-lost father and son. And I'm very intrigued about that. I'm like, what are you doing, Dante's? What is the end game here? And I'm sure I'm going to find that out. But right now, I'm just like, what is happening? So still reading Count of Monte Cristo. I also picked up this week just on a whim from the library on audiobook Masha Gessen Surviving Autocracy. So I have listened to maybe about an hour and a half of this, hour and 20 minutes, something like that. And I really like this so far. So this is this is actually one of the Trump era books that Lozada writes about in his volume. Although by the time I started listening to it, I hadn't actually gotten to that chapter in the Lozada book yet, so that was sort of amusing. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. So it's essentially about Gessen's own experience with autocracy in Russia and how we see that in Trump's presidency in the United States. And yeah, like I said, it's good and engaging so far, and Gessen's really smart, and I think I'm going to have to look at some of their backlisted titles and check out more of their work in the future. So reading that. I also finally, at long last, started my Booktube spin book from a very long time ago. A Spiritual Life, A Jewish Feminist Journey by Merle Feld. I am on page 55, and I have to say, this book is messy so far, so I don't really have high hopes, honestly. Doesn't really seem like Merle Feld has a clear sense of who her readers are here. Also doesn't really seem like she has a clear sense of organization for all of these random little vignettes and anecdotes. But I guess it could turn around. We'll see. I'm gonna finish it. But yeah, so we shall see. But again, I'm not really optimistic at this point. So reading that. And then the last book I started, I just started this today. Did I start this today? I think I started this today. I have no concept of time anymore, y'all. Is Daylight, a collection of poetry by Roya Marsh. And this was on recommendation of Mark Nash. And I think Roz at Scally Dandling About the Books also read this at Mark's recommendation and really liked it. So I'm reading this, and I have to say the poems are very addictive. So I read the introduction, really liked that. Then I started reading the poems, and then before I knew it, I was already like 20 pages in. So yeah, this is going well so far, and I imagine I'm probably going to just finish this up over the weekend. So liking that. So that is everything I am currently reading, and then next week I am planning to start a buddy read of Aravind Adiga's The White Tiger with Raina of Rainier Books. So definitely excited to revisit The White Tiger, which I have very fond memories of, and was included in my list of books that I would like to reread. So that is everything that I either finished, or I'm currently reading, or I'm planning to start sooner rather than later. So thank you for watching this. I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. I hope you're doing good reading whatever you're reading, and until next time, would it kill you to call your mother?